All right, we're back. This time we're doing Suicide Squad, the 2021 version. Supervillains Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and a collection of nutty cons at Belle Reve Prison join the super secret, super shady Task Force X as they are dropped off at the remote, enemy-infused island of Corto Maltese. The director's James Gunn. The stars are Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, and John Cena, among others. John, what'd you think?
I gave it a very solid 4. It was a extremely fun superhero movie. You can definitely tell it was the Guardians of the Galaxy guy. It really sort of gave off that vibe. My only reason it wasn't a 5 was it kind of had like a dip in the middle when they were all going over each other's backstories. And I'm going to be honest, it's not the type of movie where I really care about any of their backstories. Like, I don't care about the Rat Queen's backstory at all. It really it has such a good pace, and then it just sort of like came to a halt there.
That's really interesting. All right, so I gave it a 5. Full disclosure, I love, all of the Marvel, not all of them, but I love a lot of the Marvel movies to the point where like I've seen them multiple times. I'm not like, I never, was big on reading comic books as a young kid, but I always like watched the cartoons. And DC movies I've never really gotten into outside of like, the Batmans, like the Dark Knights and stuff like that.
Those aren't even really DC movies. Those are like Nolan. That's their own thing.
This one was incredible. Like, this one reminded me of Marvel. Like, there were great moments of levity. All the actors were really good. The storylines were great. Like, I loved the storylines, like getting to know, you look at what Marvel's doing now, like, Black Widow and stuff like that. Like, every time they're getting a chance to break out backstories, it makes you more attached to the characters. It makes you want to root for them or not want to root for them. I think backstories are important, and it was a lot more violent than I was expecting.
Maybe with more serious characters, but not in this one, which is just quite blatantly an offshoot. Like, I don't care about the guy who shoots polka dots out. Like, he's not going to become like an intricate guy in the DC
I thought that
universe.
Was hilarious, man. That, like, every time you look at somebody saying his mom.
I don't need to spend 10 minutes learning about his backstory and slowing down what is a fun movie.
I disagree, because otherwise you don't say polka dot man and you're just like, I mean, you're like, what the hell? What kind of power is that? Like, you need to know.
That's the point.
So what were your favorite parts of it?
More Weasel.
Okay.
I think Sylvester Stallone was perfect as the shark, and I thought I found like a like incorrect like blocking or something in the movie, because there's like a scene at the end where they're all attacking the tower, and there's just a guy in a polo and shorts, and I thought he was like a stand-in for the shark, and they forgot to CGI him. But apparently it was like the bus driver. But I went on like a rant, and then people on Twitter were correcting me and saying I'm not a fan or something. But there I just like completely missed. But yeah, I was so excited. I thought I found a big mistake. I was like, they forgot to CGI in the shark. It's just a guy in cargo shorts.
Speaking of, like, Margot Robbie was incredible in that. Like, she's somebody who's like grown on me. I think from Wolf of Wall Street, I thought she was good, but I never really thought of her as like a leading role person. And then, I started to see her in more and more things, and she's an incredible actor in everything she does. I thought, I'm not a John Cena guy at all, and I thought he was excellent. He was excellent in this. Idris Elba was excellent. I loved his backstory.
Just to bring, like, Margot Robbie's fight scene was really cool, because unlike a lot of movies, it was colorful and bright. A lot of movies try to make everything so dark I can't even see it in a fight scene. Like, I thought that was just a better change.
You brought up a great point of Guardians of the Galaxy, because I think that movie was like particularly, like artful. Like, they wanted you to look at the cinematography, and I thought this was the same way. Like, she's slicing off a dude's head, and you're seeing like colorful, like hippie flowers and bursts of rainbows come out. Like, it's just, it does a good job of being like poetic in that sense, and like that's where her mindset is, as well as just being cool to look at. Like, I thought this was like the first Suicide Squad. I pretty much forgot. Like, the only thing I remember is like how weird the Joker was, and
was he even in it?
Yeah.
I feel like he was
that was part of
it. Yeah.
I know he was definitely like they cut it down a
Yeah.
lot, and he almost like had cameos, and I watched it to see what Jared Leto was going to do with the Joker.
Yeah, I were definitely the first one was not good, and all I remember is what are
No.
we, some kind of Suicide Squad?
This one, the first one was terrible to me. This one, I thought it was a 5. I'm definitely down to watch the remake if James Gunn does it. If somebody else does it, I'll probably still watch it just because this one was so good. But I almost trust him more. That the soundtrack was great. Like I don't know, man.
That's Guardians of the Galaxy. That's like
Yeah,
this was his wheelhouse.
They hit on all cylinders with that one. So 4.5 is our combined score. What does that mean?
Give it a. I think the 4.5 to 5 is definitely a must watch.
You heard it here first. Suicide Squad 2021 must watch.